morning. It is my pleasure to be here with you today. I want to recognize my fellow City Council members, Nancy Hoffman and Tammy Thurm, and we have a large number of our city staff here, our city manager, Chris Wilson, assistant city manager, Trey Davis, Mike Perdue from Coliseum across the street, and many others. So I just want to say thank you so much. This is a very exciting announcement because this is going to transform this section of the block. I received a phone call a couple months ago from Mayor Elise Parton from Casey, South Carolina. And she said, I want you to know that you're about to get one of the coolest businesses. They are founded in Casey, South Carolina, and she said they have been such great community partners. She said, you have no idea how lucky you are. I hung up the phone a little confused because I wasn't even aware at that point that Steel Hands was coming. And I'm telling you, everything that Mayor Parton said is absolutely true. I am so pleased that Steel Hands has decided to come to Greensboro, North Carolina, and to have Greensboro be their distribution point for North Carolina. You know, I love that logo. It is strong, it is gritty, and that is just what Greensboro is. So when you look at their video about how the logo came to be in South Carolina, there is so much, it reflects Greensboro, North Carolina so much. I really love that logo, and I know that people in Greensboro are really going to embrace this concept, and I don't want to give it all away. I am really excited, but I need to let other people talk as well. So I just can't wait till they open, and it will be a great destination for young people, for families, and we need more things like this. So I want to thank you, Steel Hands, for investing in the city of Greensboro, North Carolina. And with that, I would like to introduce Scott Lambert. Scott?
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate everybody showing up today. My business partner, Daryl Frick, and myself are super excited, as well as our local investors, Deborah and Jim Bingham. We felt like that was an important move to have a local investor as a part of this expansion. Also would like to thank, special thanks to Marshall Yandel. When we first came to Greensboro, we were welcomed with the mayor and a large group of the city staff. And it was a very warm welcome. We talked about our vision on what we wanted to do here, and they were all super excited. If you know my personality, I always push and go really fast, sometimes probably a bit too fast, but that's okay. You know, ultimately our goal is to open this thing up and make it a thriving business. Talk a little bit about Steel Hands. As mentioned, we opened initially almost 3 years ago in Casey, South Carolina. And just a little bit about that place. It's a 30-barrel brew house. It's a production facility, and we are currently distributing throughout South Carolina. But part of our bigger vision was to be a regional brewery, and we looked at multiple of cities, and frankly, Greensboro fit us. We felt perfectly. And as mentioned, this will be our North Carolina focal point in central North Carolina. And it will be a production facility, and Doug's, our brewmaster, is going to talk a little bit more about the nuts and bolts of it, if you will. But we think from an economic standpoint, this is important for us to look like a regional brewery. We'll be distributing from here, canning from here, but it'll also be a destination. Having a really cool place for families to come and bring their dogs and hear live music. It's all part of a really neat business plan that has worked very well in Casey, and we fully anticipate it'll work actually better here. We're super excited about the location being across from the Coliseum. We feel like ultimately this will turn into great partnerships where we can have events before and after and really support each other. Talk a little bit about jobs. We anticipate hiring between 30 and 40 people here, and ultimately probably over 50. We currently have between 40 and 50 people in Casey working at our brewery, from the front of house to back of house to special events. So it's a very dynamic business with lots of different heads to it. Again, we'll have a tap room here that'll seat about 190 people inside, but we'll also have a pretty vast outdoor space. Especially during COVID, everybody likes to be outside and listen to music and hang out, and this will be a major part of our plan. We'll have a kitchen here. We'll be serving food. We're doing a little different concept in Greensboro, which will be a pizza oven. And we're excited about that and be able to turn food out. Just to kind of give you an idea, we'll have hundreds of people that visit us on a day, and we want to be able to serve the community and have good food for them to enjoy while they're having a cold beer. We mentioned live music. This is also part of a bigger plan. We have bands that come to Casey from all over the eastern United States, and we did something over the summer that was really exciting, bringing in artists from Nashville every Friday night. We see this as a really neat opportunity to route musicians from Casey to Greensboro, and then they have two destinations to come play at. And especially during COVID, the artists have really appreciated having a venue to go play that's safe and typically outdoors. Also, being a part of the community. I know when we met with the city staff originally, I think we mentioned the word community about 100 times. But that is a very, very important part of our mission, to be a good steward to the community. We have tons of special events where, charity events, supporting the police and firefighters, as well as all kinds of nonprofits. And we feel like that's part of what our mission is to be a good steward of the community. With that, I can keep talking about Steel Hands a lot, but again, I'm going to introduce Doug Smith. He's our head brewmaster, and Brian Dahl, he will be the brewer here. No, go ahead, Doug. I'll let you talk a little bit more about the nuts and bolts.
Thank you, guys. The greatest part about being a local brewery are going to be the partnerships that you get to create in the community. So getting to work with the city of Greensboro and the mayor has been phenomenal. One of the first partnerships we have is with the distributor RH Behringer. So they've signed up to distribute our beer as soon as we open. And that talks about kind of our biggest goal here, is that we're not just a brew pub, we're actually going to be a distribution facility. So we put in a 20-barrel brew house. To give you an idea, that's 40 kegs every time that we brew we'll be able to pump out. We're going to be putting in a canning line that'll be able to produce 2 cases a minute of cans, both in 12 ounce and 16 ounce. We just had meetings with Harris Teeter and Lowe's Food. So we're really hoping to kind of launch big, not just as a brew pub, which we're very excited about, but also as that distribution brewery that can really represent Greensboro. And we're very excited to be that representation of Greensboro and building those local partnerships, because that is the key to craft brewing. If you guys aren't aware, there are almost 9,000 craft breweries in the country. So you may think to yourself, why do there need to be 9,000? And that's because there's that and more cities. Every brewery needs to be a reflection of the place they live, the place they play, and we want to be that reflection of Greensboro. I think we've done a great job of doing that in Casey, South Carolina. We're going to bring that same team and mentality up here, and we're really excited to bring you a head brewer, Brian Dahl, that has been trained across the country and brings a different perspective. He definitely loves German lagers. We gave him a brew house that gives him different capabilities, gives him decoction ability, so he'll be able to brew different styles of beer here that we do in South Carolina. And then the bigger vision is that he'll make phenomenal beer here, sell it here, and then send some down to me in South Carolina, and we'll share some of our beer up here as well. So we're gonna have a great partnership that both reflects Greensboro and kind of speaks that larger regional ability. I think one of the most important parts of what we're doing here is trying to build fans. We really want to encourage the people of Greensboro to come visit us, come to the tap room, get to talk with us, speak with us, see what we're trying to do. We do make craft beer, but craft beer is really that excuse for you to come in, sit down, and have a conversation. Craft beer is a wonderful way for us all to get together around the table. I want you to hear about what it's like to be a brewer, what it's like to be a small business in Greensboro, and then I want to hear what it's like to be a resident of Greensboro and what it makes Greensboro so special. We really want to invite you to come here, become a fan. We're a huge fan of Greensboro, and help us start this conversation of what it means to be local. Thank you.